Hello everybody! We've had a little break from my videos, but I'm back. Tonight we were going to have a little bit of a campfire in our backyard and roast hot dogs, but didn't quite work out, so we're postponing it till tomorrow, and instead tonight we're having quiche. I used to not be a huge fan of quiche, but I like it a lot more now. So I got this recipe from a friend of mine whose name is Susan, and I like to name all my recipes after people that I get my recipes from. And this quiche actually makes 2 quiches, but my family only needs 1. So we tend to make 1 quiche, and so I just split the recipe in half. So let's look at what we need for our... No, there's more eggs in the fridge. Meanwhile, while I'm doing this video, my daughter's making brownies because we needed a sweet treat tonight. So she's doing that and I'm making the quiche. But let's look at our recipe, our ingredients for tonight. So from the freezer, I decided to be lazy tonight and to use a pre-made pie crust. And we are going to use one of the pie crusts. So what I'll probably do is put the other one back in the freezer until I need it again. We also have ham, cubed ham. I make this dish also a lot after Easter and Christmas because we have a ham, and usually I have diced ham left over. But this time I just took this out of the freezer and defrosted it. From our refrigerator, we are going to use eggs. The recipe calls for cream, but I like to lighten it up a little bit, so I do about half cream and half milk. And then we're going to also use cheese. From our pantry, we're going to use canned mushrooms. You can use fresh. I just don't have any fresh on hand right now, so I'm using canned. We're going to use green onions. Again, you can use fresh, but I don't have any, so I'm going to use some Thrive green onions. And then we have salt and pepper. And that's it. So let's start cooking. Alright, so I'm currently preheating the oven. When we first put the quiche in, we're going to put it in at 425 degrees. Caught you. Don't fall. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just get my crust ready in my pie pan. That way it can, if it's frozen at all still in the middle or refrigerated, too stiff in the middle, it can soften a little bit. So it's really, really simple. If you have a pie pan that's too big for your dough, you can still roll these out. You just put a little, ooh, you can rip it like that too. Put a little flour down and go ahead and roll it out. It's still very pliable, like regular old crust. And I'm having trouble with my edge right here. So I'm going to work the rest of it and then come back to that. So I'm just pushing it into my pie pan. And maybe I should have taken my own advice and rolled this out a little bit more. I'm having the issues. Polly is being really, really quiet. She doesn't have to be quiet, but she's being really, really quiet because she's such a good girl. She's like, oh, are you live? You know, my kids are so good to me. So happy Friday night, everybody. Our weather just changed totally here. We've been having all this 60-degree weather, and today it went back down to the 30s, and it's trying to snow. We didn't really get snow, but it's trying to get some snow going. So I don't know. We'll have to see what it brings. We're supposed to have snow on Sunday too. But last night, because originally yesterday was also supposed to be cold, I made ham and bean soup, but I decided not to record that one because it really takes 3 hours to make. You don't have to do very much. You just dump things in. I dumped a thing of 15 beans in a pot and the night before and let it soak in water, and then I drained it. And then 3 hours before we wanted to eat dinner, I went ahead and I added our ham bone from our Christmas ham. And I also added some different spices and some chicken bouillon. And then you just let it simmer for 2 hours. And then you add a can of diced tomatoes and let it simmer for another hour. And you take out the ham bone and trim up the meat off of it, and then it's done. It was super simple. And we just had it with some rolls that I had made previously. This is our lovely pie shell. Here, will you pass me a fork, love? Which one? Any fork. Thanks, honey. I'm just going to poke some holes because it makes me feel better. I feel like it lets the pie crust expand a little bit. Alright, so now what we're going to do, because I'm halving my recipe, it originally calls for 4 eggs, but I'm going to do 2 eggs. So we're going to crack our eggs in a bowl. Alright, and then we're going to add to our eggs, well actually let's go ahead and we'll beat those really quick. We're going to beat our eggs. Trying to hold it so lovely. Beat the eggs. It says beat them till they're frothy.
Mommy, should I mix in the chocolate chips right now with the...
I would put like half in right now, and then we'll put the other half in just before we put it in.
Okay,
Like just
so
sprinkle them on top.
Half a cup?
Sure, that sounds good. Okay, and then like I said, it originally calls for 1 cup of cream, but I want to make it a little bit lighter, so, and we're splitting it. So we're really going down to a half a cup of cream, but I'm going to put in like maybe like a third of cream, like a quarter of cream and a quarter cup of milk, so it's not quite as fattening. All right, so our eggs are frothy, and now we're going to add in our heavy cream. Then I'm going to do our milk. Okay, so we only need a half a cup because originally it calls for 1 cup, but we're halving our recipe. Put that stuff to the side. And we'll go ahead and we'll blend in our cream, or your cream and milk. I guess that would be half and half. Okay, then we're going to set this aside for right now. And we are going to put our ham. Now the ham, it calls for a cup of ham, and this package is a cup of ham. And I said I'm splitting this recipe, but this one I happen to put the whole ham in there because my family appreciates the meat. So a lot of times I'm always trying to do less meat, but on this one I actually do a little bit more because we're going to let the whole thing be in there. I'm going to drain that out a little bit because I don't need any extra liquid. And again, this is a great recipe to use, like if you had ham for Easter or for Christmas, or if you just had a ham for whatever reason and you have a little bit left over, make some quiche. Make some scrambled eggs the next morning. You know, you could just add a little ham to the mac and cheese. There's lots of little things that you can do with just that little bit of ham that's left over. Okay, and then with our ham, I'm going to go ahead and put in our mushrooms, and you only need a cup of mushrooms, and so this can will be perfect because this will be about a half a cup. So I'm going to drain the can. Oops. We're going to sprinkle it on top of our ham and kind of make it even in our pie shell. So did you get an 8x8 pan? Do you need to get an 8x8 pan? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's just the square one that's down here, love.
Oh, so it's perfectly square.
Yeah, it's perfectly square. It's going to be in the back there. Alright, so I put down my mushrooms, and now it says add your green onions. And for the green onions, it says 2 of those stalks chopped. So I'm just going to add them dry because the egg and everything is going to reconstitute them. So I'm just going to take some and sprinkle it in here and say, yeah, that looks good. Sometimes I just eyeball things, but if you wanted to do this recipe, it calls, it calls for 2, so you would just do 1 green onion stalk if you're splitting it in half like I'm doing. Oh, excuse me again, sorry. All right, and then the next thing that we need to do is put cheese on top of this, and we just make it my measurer. We're just gonna use about let me think. We're gonna use just like a 1/4 cup. I'm probably gonna do a 1/3 cup of cheese. Hi, Crystal. So for 2 of them, it calls for 4 ounces, and that's probably weighed, but I'm not even weighing it. So I'm just gonna do 1/3 of a cup for one, which it really should be 1/4 cup. I'm gonna do 1/3 cup because I like the cheese. Sorry, baby. And we're just gonna sprinkle that on top of, we already have our ham in here, we have our mushrooms in here, we have the cheese in here. So we're sprinkling our, sorry, I didn't mean to say cheese, I meant to say green onions. So we're sprinkling our cheese on top of that. Okay, so the last little thing that we need to do is add the salt. We're gonna add some salt and pepper to our egg mixture, and then we're gonna pour our egg mixture on top of all the goodies that we already have in our pie shell. So this is to taste, so I'm gonna eyeball it. For one, I would probably put in 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, but remember guys, I really love my pepper. And probably about 1/2 teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon. For both, 1/2 or 1/4 teaspoon, depending on your taste of salt and pepper. That was itty bitty, that was not enough. All right, so put that in there, and we're gonna give it one more whisk so we can kind of get that all incorporated. And then I'm gonna put my quiche on top of a cookie sheet just in case it poofs up too much. I don't want it to spill in my oven, so I'm gonna put it on the cookie sheet, and then I'm just gonna pour this egg mixture over the top. Now it's not gonna be swimming. You're not gonna be swimming in egg mixture. It's gonna actually look kind of thin, and I'll show you a picture. You get all that good stuff. Let me bring you out of the closet. All right, so you can see that the egg mixture is not above everything. It's just kind of incorporated in there. And we're gonna pop this in the oven for 425, and we'll do it for 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes, we're gonna drop the temperature down to 325 and cook it for 30 more minutes. And at that point, you'll see that your egg is set, and you can just take it out at that point. And you're gonna cut it up and serve it hot. We usually cut ours in 8s, but you could cut in 6 or whatever you want. And that's how simple it is. So this recipe originally makes 2, but we just did 1. And all it is pie crust, egg, cream, ham, mushrooms, green onions, cheese, salt and pepper. Super simple. And then once you get in the oven, you get to go play. You get to go have fun with your family. You get to go relax. So enjoy. I hope you enjoy your dinner. I hope you give this a try for one of those really easy kind of meals. You can make it for dinner. You can make it for a brunch or breakfast. I would probably do a brunch, not breakfast, because I'm not that patient for breakfast to wait 40 minutes for it. But I hope you enjoy it, and I will try to post the recipe. Thank you for watching. Bye.